Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Today I'm going to get into some frequently asked questions, meaning I'm going to check out the comment section and see what you guys are asking about. I haven't done any preliminary research on the comment section, so I don't have any thoughts prepared. I don't know what you're going to bring up. We'll get 3 comments from 3 different videos. If that sounds good, stick around. Let's get into it. I am going to be away from my house, camping with my family from July 17th to 20th, so we'll have less content in the meantime. Okay, so recently I did a video talking about tech modernization and the mobile experience being freshly improved. I have continued to play it today. I played it more on my mobile. I played, I think, 8 matches on my mobile phone, and I really find it significantly improved. What do you guys have to say? Kevin Peter says, ugh, mobile still needs so much work. It shouldn't be nearly as difficult as it is. The game should be 100% mobile first to get and keep new players, but no one will want to stay in its current state. Why can't this game function and be developed to look and work as Magic the Gathering Mobile, an actual mobile game and not just Web3? Well, I'm not familiar with Magic the Gathering Mobile. I do think, you know, in terms of like, why can't we compare it to some of these other studios, maybe some other projects that are even AAA or not AAA? Because this is not, you know, people say Magic the Gathering, but then frankly, there's criticisms about us not looking like other games too. I guess I would just say, you know, if you go back to where Splinterlands started, we started with a company, which I think was 2 people, Matt and Nagrod, and maybe Nate? I actually don't know. I don't know the beginnings, but we're talking like a conversation between a couple people, and they knew very little about, you know, any of this. They understood blockchain better than maybe the most people might have. But man, so much has been learned on the fly with this, and I'm not convinced, you know, if they could go back into the past and recognize what this could be already, you would have set different things up. You would have paid for better upgrades, maybe better staffing. You know, you would have done certain things to get it to a different place. But that's with hindsight. And I guess my defense, if it's even a defense, is that, you know, clearly we're not as sexy as some of the other projects that are out there. But I think this accomplishes what we expect it to be. Like, I mean, a collectible card game with auto brawler mechanics where the player setup of the team is the thoughtful piece and then the battle is automatic. You know, I think it's been satisfying for 6 years, and it's not what we want it to be because we have bigger dreams, but it is something significant. And as much as I can agree to what you're saying, I also simultaneously feel focusing on where we're at as opposed to compared to where we came from, instead of where we're at as opposed to where we wish we were, is the like the logical and appropriate posture to carry at this moment. Not everybody's going to agree to that. Some people are going to have less, would you call it grace? Some people are going to have less grace for what we haven't accomplished. And that's okay. You know, different people have different opinions, but I'm still having tons of fun. And so, yeah, we're not where we need to be. You're right, Kevin. It does need a lot more work. And I think I featured a few of those sort of upgrades or my concerns, but we've come a long way and we're continuing to go a long way, and there's big things coming. And so we've waited this long. Let's wait a little longer and see where we end up. Thanks for the comment, Kevin. Oh, this sounds like a nice comment. I'm going to read it. This is from a video I did a couple of weeks ago where my our now son Gregory was coming early. It was like 2 weeks early from what we were originally thinking. They said that, you know, we would, on such and such day, we would have him and he would be permanently staying with us. And then that changed very quickly because of stuff I don't want to get into. And he came early. And so I shared that with you guys, as I'm apt to do. My three interests are family, finance, and faith. Finance captures the cryptocurrency, which brings me to Splinterlands because that's where I found a lot of value in crypto. But family and faith are big pieces of my life and my interest. And so I was happy to share that with you. And let's see what Banana has to say with that. Banano Farmer, I like that. As a longtime follower and a fellow parent, this is such great news. Truly wish you the best. What a blessing it is to have a child, and I'm happy for him being able to finally have a living situation which has been cemented in. Yeah, me too. Something stable long term. It's very important. I totally understand the foster situation. I hope this transition is smooth and quick for him. One of those things that's usually a definitive positive, but sometimes not easy. That's really, I won't say too much about this, but one, I appreciate what you're saying. Thank you. And two, what you're touching on here when you say this, a definite positive, but not something easy. Yes, it is wonderful that we have him. He is a lovely little child, and we are so glad. In fact, I would go another step further and say, I'm convinced that God went before us and actually made this selection so that he always knew we would have him. And so we are his family, even though we didn't have him. And that's how I feel about it. Having said that, one person might hear that and go, well, then it's perfect and it's easy and there's not going to be any hiccups. No, man, that's not life. If you've been married or if you have children, that kids, you love your children, but they make you crazy. You love your spouse, but sometimes they make you crazy. And the truth is, I say this to my wife sometimes when we fight. I think it's true that the people, there's nobody in your life that can hurt you more than the people you love most, because no one has that sort of backdoor entrance to your heart. They can just walk in to your deepest, most core place in your heart and soul and cause pain. Like, say, a hurtful thing that really cuts you. And I'm not saying, like, our son, that hasn't been the story with him. But he has such deep confusion, He's 4 years old. He was living with somebody who loved him, a foster family, and it's a definite positive that he's moved into his forever home, but it's also deeply difficult. And I'm certain we're going to get through it, and it's going to be a wonderful victory. I've already seen that, by the way, guys. So many cool things. Today I played soccer with him for half an hour. We sprinted up and down the field. My older daughter came out. That was awesome. Good to see her out there. Beautiful sunshine, by the way. Then we did 40 minutes of slip and slide in the backyard. Then we did, what else did we do? We played Frisbee. We wrestled. It's been joy, like freezies outside in the sun. It's awesome. But man, that doesn't mean it's easy. And that's true for every relationship you have too. Thanks as always for the updates and for the years of SL content and speculation. Have a good one. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, Banana Farmer. Let's get one more. Okay. This is, I'm just reading the surface of this comment from Mans1441. And that was a video I was quite proud of. If you haven't seen it, if Splinterlands fails, this will be why. And I talked about, I think, like 2 or 3 different reasons why people are concerned that Splinterlands might fail, but to me, there's really one core reason. And if you haven't seen that video, go watch it. Mans comes in and says, because I often say this game, I have enjoyed it for years, and I think I expect to enjoy it for many more years to come. And he says you can't enjoy it for years to come because your cards are only playable in Modern, while they are the 2 most current sets. And to use your old cards, you have to pay every season in Wild. This change totally ruined the game for me, and I now resent every single cent I spent on it, which before wasn't a concern as I enjoyed the game. So there's a lot there in such a short comment, but I guess I want to start with the emotional content there. You talk about resentment toward the game for changing in ways you didn't expect, didn't want, and you feel maybe are unfair. And You say you enjoyed the game, weren't concerned about your spending on it, but then now you're very frustrated, maybe bitter even, you might say, about what the choices that you made in this because something fundamentally changed for you. I can understand all of that, and I can even sympathize with your feelings of frustration as things change around you and it becomes something you don't want. There are times where I have invested in different projects in crypto where it is one thing at some point and it starts to evolve into something different. And you go, that's not really what it was about. That's not what I was about. That's not what I want to invest in. And at times that drove me away. And that's why I always talk about Splinterlands from the perspective of it's fun and has a future. And that's a conversation I have with myself about where we're at. Is it still fun? Does it still have a future? Those are decisions that we each have to make. And it sounds like you felt the change with respect to the permit pass in Wild broke that for you. If you feel that those pillars are broken, it makes perfect sense to walk away. If those pillars were broken for me, I would walk away. But coming back to your first point where you say you can't enjoy it for years because they're only playable in Modern for 2 current sets. First of all, that is years. 2 current sets is at least 2 years, maybe 3, 4 years. Depends, but Untamed, Rebellion, in the time I've been here, which is 6 years, Untamed sold out. We had Chaos Legion and then Rebellion. And Rebellion is not yet sold out or done. And so that's 2 years per set or something like that. And so, I mean, if it's 2 sets and it's 2 years per set, that's 4 years. And that's a long time to enjoy those cards in Modern, first off. But then second off, you can still enjoy the cards, even if you don't want to enjoy them in Modern. You can enjoy them in Wild. And then you say you have to pay every season in Wild. And you don't say, but you imply that that's not acceptable. And I have to push back on that. And that's kind of where I want to finish this conversation and maybe wrap up the video. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, that the Wild Pass, the cost around it, is worth it if you receive more reward after paying for the pass than you would have before paying for the pass. And that means that the number of players within Wild has dramatically changed, and now the spread of payment on SPS per win ends up being larger than you would have imagined, and therefore justifies your interest and your expenditure. That's possible. And I don't know if it's happening. And anecdotally, it may be happening for some and not for others. You know, this is 2 hours ago. I played a rank battle in Wild. And yes, I use a bot. And yes, I have a pass. So I go ahead and skip and see what we win on that one. We got 4.5 SPS on that. Interestingly, I'm getting about 4 SPS in Modern. So in Silver, by the way, Silver 1. So that's a Champion League battle, Champion 2, and if we go to Modern Silver 1, this is a win I just had 20 minutes ago. We skip to end, 3.5 SPS, but that's lower than I'm seeing regularly 4. Let's see about this one here. 4 SPS on that one, and then I've seen 4.5 on some of these. And so it's interesting to note that the rewards can be greater than what you were expecting, and therefore justify the permanent pass. But then simultaneously, if I can get the same amount of rewards in Modern with a Silver League deck, or winning in Silver rather, let's put it that way, then the issue about cards cycling out of Modern perhaps is overblown, because there appear to be meaningful SPS payouts in Silver League as compared to Champion League in Wild. And if that's correct, then you don't need to have all the cards to have this great modern deck that allows you to play and earn and have success and joy and play at a high level. Silver is fun and competitive, challenging and difficult, and you can earn significant rewards there. And so I feel as though we are overstating the cost of the permit pass, because it appears to be increasing rewards by at least, I would say, 33% in my case. That by itself means a significant amount of SPS, which justify the cost of the permit pass. That's point number one. And point number two is, if your cards cycle out of Modern and your deck gets weaker, that happens to everyone. Everyone loses Rebellion when Rebellion rolls out. Everyone loses Untamed when Untamed rolls out. And so it's only, there's only probably, I'm going to say 1% of the population that's ever going to come in and buy the full next deck. It's not going to be 50, 60, 70% of the people that do that. And so I don't think it's logical for us to believe that we are going to somehow be uniquely put in a bad position when Rebellion rolls out. Like as if you're going to be the one who's going to suffer, whereas everyone else is going to just buy the next deck. I think most likely your average players at that time will buy some of the next deck, just like you will buy some of the next deck. And you will have a medium deck, maybe silver, maybe gold, and you're going to have meaningful rewards at that level. And so I think we overstate the damage that the permit pass implies to the earnings within Wild. And I think we overstate the loss to the modern player when cards cycle out, because there's this, unspoken presumption you need to buy the next full deck, and that's thousands of dollars, and who wants to do that? Which is just not true. You can have a few of them and have fun with it. You can rent cards for practically nothing and have fun with it. So I don't know. I don't want to convince mans. This is not an argument. I'm just talking about my perspective on these topics. And frankly, if I ever came to use this word for Splinterlands, resent towards the design, the development, the pathway, the future, that would imply to me, I no longer believe that it's fun and has the future, and therefore I would walk away as well. And so I don't begrudge you for doing or saying what you're saying. Thank you for the comment. I guess I just see it differently with respect to the permit pass can be justified by the earnings being increased. And then the opportunities within Modern are equal for everyone because the cards roll out for everyone. And finally, there's real earnings possible at lower league levels in Modern. And so it doesn't always have to be, I need to be a champion player or a diamond player, and those decks are huge and expensive, and I don't want to always have to do that every 2 years, etc. That's sometimes what we think, maybe, but it's just not the reality. I'm going to leave it there. Thanks so much for your time and attention. Guys, have an awesome day. God bless.